Everything changed the day I found that letter. My grandmother, Clara, was the matriarch of our family, a woman whose smile could light up a room and whose stories were our most cherished heirlooms. She lived in the same old house she'd grown up in, a place filled with the scent of cinnamon and the echoes of laughter from generations past. After she passed away, my mother and I were tasked with the bittersweet job of sorting through her belongings. It felt like a treasure hunt through a life well lived, each photograph and trinket a breadcrumb leading back through time. I was in the attic, a dusty, sun-drenched space where forgotten memories slept, when I found it, tucked away inside an old, leather-bound copy of Pride and Prejudice. Her favorite book was a single, sealed envelope. It was made of thick, cream-colored paper brittle with age. My name for my dearest granddaughter was written on the front in her elegant, looping cursive. My heart began to beat a little faster. She had left this for me, a final message from beyond the veil of life and death. I sat down on a rickety wooden stool, dust motes dancing in the single shaft of light from the attic window. My hands trembled slightly as I carefully broke the wax seal. What secrets could this letter possibly hold? Was it a final piece of advice, a forgotten family recipe, or perhaps the location of a hidden treasure we'd all joked about as children? The anticipation was a knot in my stomach. I unfolded the paper, the crinkle echoing loudly in the silent attic. The letter was dated just a few months before she passed. I began to read, her words flowing across the page like a familiar, comforting melody. She wrote about her love for me, her pride in the woman I was becoming. She recounted memories I had long forgotten, the time I fell and scraped my knee, and she kissed it better with a promise of ice cream. The day I graduated, and she cried tears of pure joy. It was all so wonderfully, painfully her, but then the tone of the letter shifted. "There is something you must know," she wrote, "a secret I have carried in my heart for over 60 years. A story that belongs to you as much as it does to me." My breath hitched. I read on, my eyes flying across the lines. She wrote of her youth, of a time before she met my grandfather. She spoke of a great love, a whirlwind romance with a young artist named Daniel. He had eyes the color of the summer sky and a passion for painting that matched her passion for life. They were inseparable, planning a future together, a life filled with art, love, and adventure. But the world had other plans. Daniel was drafted to fight in a war overseas. They wrote to each other every day, their letters filled with promises of a swift return and a lifetime of happiness. But one day, the letters stopped coming. Weeks turned into months, and a dreadful silence stretched across the ocean. My grandmother was heartbroken, but she never gave up hope. She waited, clinging to the belief that he would come back to her. It wasn't until a year later that she received a formal notice. Daniel was missing in action, presumed lost. The news shattered her world. The vibrant colors of her life faded to gray. She eventually met my grandfather, a kind and steady man who helped her piece her broken heart back together. They built a beautiful life, but a small, hidden part of her always belonged to Daniel. I had to sit back, the letter resting in my lap. I was trying to process this revelation about the grandmother I thought I knew so well. An entire chapter of her life, a whole other love story, had been kept hidden from everyone. But that wasn't the end of the secret. The final paragraph of the letter was the one that truly changed everything. When Daniel left, she wrote, he didn't know that he was leaving a piece of himself behind, a part of our love that would live on. My darling girl, his eyes were the exact same shade of blue as yours. The letter slipped from my fingers. It couldn't be my grandfather, the man who had raised my mother, was not her biological father. The kind, quiet man I had called Grandpa my whole life. He had loved and raised another man's child as his own. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. Every family photo, every story, every memory was suddenly cast in a new, unfamiliar light. I sat in that dusty attic for what felt like an eternity, the weight of a 60-year-old secret settling upon my shoulders. This letter wasn't just a story. It was my grandmother's final act of love, a gift of truth. She had entrusted me with her most vulnerable moment, with the origin story of our family's deep capacity for love. It wasn't a story of betrayal, but one of profound sacrifice and boundless affection. My grandfather didn't just marry a woman with a broken heart. He embraced her past and loved her daughter as if she were his own flesh and blood. The secret wasn't the lie, the secret was the sheer depth of their love. And in that moment, I understood family isn't just about blood. It's about the choices we make, the love we give, and the secrets we keep to protect the ones we cherish. My grandmother's letter didn't break our family's foundation. It revealed that it was built on something far stronger than I had ever imagined. Don't forget to subscribe.